All right, so we are going to do 4.4, which is scatter plots and lines of fit. A scatter plot is a graph that shows the relationship between two data sets. The two data sets are graphed as ordered pairs in a coordinate plane. Scatter plots can show trends in the data. So this is like real raw data, and we just plot it, and we can then have a visual of it, and we can see if there's patterns and stuff. So example 1 says the scatter plot here shows the amount X in grams, so here's of sugar, and the number Y of calories in 10 smoothies. So if you have 10 smoothies, how many grams of sugar and how many calories? So they have some data sets. The first question says, how many calories in the smoothie, so how many calories are in the smoothie that contains 56 grams of sugar? So what we need to do is first remember that sugar is our X. So this means when X is 56, how many calories means what is our Y value? So I'm going to go over here to 56, which is halfway between 54 and 58. I'm going to go up, 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 and it's this point right here. And if I go over to the Y value, it's 270. So I would say 270 calories. Excellent, that's pretty easy. Part B says, how many grams of sugar are in the smoothie that contains 320 calories? So I'm going to look at calories here, and 320 is this line right here. I go over to find that data point, which is this one, and then find the corresponding X value, which is 70. So I would say 70 calories. Sorry, not 70 calories, 70 grams of sugar. Wrong thing. 70 grams of sugar. What tends to happen to the number of calories as the number of grams of sugar increase? So that means as we are going this way, as the number of grams increase, look at the data. Do you see that as I'm going to the right, my data is going up? That means the number of calories also increases. All right, so you can do this next on your own. Questions 1 and 2 that are based off of here. You can pause the video and then you can come back and check your answers. All right, now that you are back, let's look at the first one. How many calories in a smoothie contains 51 grams of sugar? So here's 50. 51 would be just after it, which is this one right here, which goes all the way over to 260. So you'd say 260 calories. And then a 250 calorie smoothie is right here, which is boom, and straight down is halfway between 50 and 54, so I would say 52 grams of sugar. Okay, continuing on, correlation. Basically positive correlation, negative correlation, no correlation. So think of this as sort of like slope. If you look at it, it sort of has a positive slope type of direction. This means as X increases, Y increases. A negative correlation is sort of like a negative slope. As X increases, Y decreases. And then if there's no pattern at all, they're just jumbled around, that's called no correlation. So we have to identify some correlations. So tell whether the data set show a positive, a negative, or no correlation. So in this first one here, as X increases, notice there's no true Y. I mean, it looks like these Y's are increasing, but it looks like these ones maybe are, but then some are going down. This one I'm going to say it has no correlation. If you have to question it, because like maybe if you're trying to make a correlation on something, it's probably going to be a no correlation for us. We want them to be fairly obvious. Like in B, temperature and the coat sales at a store. So actually, let's go back to this first one. Age and number of vehicles owned. As you get older in age, you would think you've owned more vehicles, which is possibly true. But in this situation with the data, it doesn't look like it. Now this one's a little bit more obvious. The daily average temperature and then coats sold per day. As the temperature increases, which means it gets warmer, notice the number of coats is constantly, if I could draw a line here, it's almost like they follow a line that goes down like a negative slope. So this has a negative correlation. All right, and then here's the last one we're going to do. This is where we're going to spend most of our time today. It says it's not on your own, but we have to do it together because it says you have to make a scatter plot. Now you could graph these by hand, but we're not going to. And then we're going to tell if it's a positive, a negative, or no correlation. So there are directions on the next page of how to do this. I'm going to talk you through it using the graphing calculator. So I'm going to turn on my handy dandy graphing calculator here and go to my stat button, which is right here where you have it highlighted. I'm going to press that, and then the first option says edit. So I'm going to go here. Now you may or may not have numbers in here. If you do, never hit delete when we do this. We want to clear out our data. So what we do is we're going to go up to the top and highlight the list and just hit clear and then enter, and notice it cleared everything. Don't hit delete. You hit clear. You want to clear out the data. So I'm going to go up here, hit clear, enter. Your X values are always going to be in list 1. I'm going to write that on the notes. X values are list 1, Y values are list 2. So I'm going to go over here and type in my numbers as I see them. So 82, enter, 78, 68, 87, 75, 71, 92, 84, 27. Whoops, I wouldn't want 17 or 27. When that happens, you can go to an individual value and just hit delete. All right, so I got my data. I'm going to hit to the right and now type in my Y value. So 4.5, 4.0, 1.7, 5.5, 3.8, 2.9, 4.7, 5.3. All right, make sure that these line up together, because if you have one extra data point in one set than the other, you're going to have a big issue. All right, so these are together. Now we want to actually graph these. So we use the stat button to enter our data under edit, and now we actually have to graph it. So here's what we do. Up here, normally we have the y equals. I want you to go to your y equals and clear out anything that you have, anything. Make sure there's no other equations. Now, because we want to plot our statistics, right above the y equals, mine in blue it says stat plot. So I press second and then stat plot, which is my y equals button. It's going to take me to this menu, and it'll tell you plot 1, plot 2, plot 3. Notice these are all off. What I want to do is press enter on this first one and turn it on, and just double check that it shows the dots and none of this other stuff, and it says that your X values are list 1, your Y values are list 2, and then if I hit graph, oh, I don't see anything, and here's why. The window's wrong. Whenever you're graphing a scatter plot, I want you to go to zoom and then go down to option number 9 that says stat, which means it's going to put all your statistics on one screen, all those dots. So if I press enter, now I can see this. So now as I look at this, I can see as my X values are increasing, it is really clear that my Y values are increasing as well. So I can go back over to my notes and say this has a positive correlation. And I'm just going to quickly draw what this sort of looks like. Boom, 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 boom. All right, so to me, that looks like a positive correlation. I'm sort of just make a little sketch of what I saw on the graphing calculator window so I know why I said positive correlation in my notes. All right, so again, those directions in the notes are here of how to type in all those numbers and what to do about the stat plots and how to turn them on and going to zoom stat. And then there is an on your own here. So go ahead and pause this and try it on your own and then come back and we're going to do it together. All right, in case you are stuck, I'm going to go to stat, enter on edit, and I'm going to clear out my data here. And I'm going to quickly type in my numbers. I typed in 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's easy enough. Right arrow, and then type in 24, 21, 19, 18, 15, 12, 8, 7. They end at the same spot, which is good. Second stat plot, it's on, which is great. If you ever need to turn it off because you want to graph regular lines, you can turn it off, or in your y equals, you can come up here and just turn that off. Right now it's on, but when I hit graph, you're going to notice it's going to look a little different because the window is still on my old one. So every time you graph new scatter plots, you have to go to zoom and 9 to see what it is. So there's my graph. I'm going to make a little picture here of what it looks like. So that shows a negative correlation. All right, for this lesson, that's all we have. So if you have any questions, reach out to me. If not, best of luck, and we'll see you here next time.